Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we are brought here to unveil something brand new for all of you. Be excited, because today, for the first time ever, we are debuting my new hat.
That's it. That's the only thing we have to debut today.
And Lane's playing all Kroot Army.
All Kroot, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's significant.
Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And after that opening, I know everyone is super excited about my hat. Isn't that an exciting thing for today?
That's a snazzy hat.
It is a snazzy hat.
It's the only thing of significance in today's battle
Only thing
report.
of significance. Nothing about the fact that Lane has gone so deep in the Kroot faction to play an army that is 100% all Kroot?
99%.
99% all Kroot. You got an ethereal.
Yeah. So all right, guys. So I'm not a Tau player. I love the Kroot models.
And he didn't lose a bet.
No, I was not forced. This was not forced upon me. It was of my own doing, of my own choice. I've had some Kroot models for Kill Team, because you could run all Kroot Kill Teams in Kill Teams. They were a lot of fun. I love the models. I think they're cool. At one point, I had like a whole Tau army that I had acquired on eBay, and it's a shooting army. I like shooting armies. I was going to paint them, and literally I picked up the first model and picked up my brush and went to paint it and just couldn't. Had no desire to paint it.
Just said, no, I'm done.
I don't want to paint the battle suits or their tanks or anything.
So instead...
So when GW announced, like, hey guys, we're doing an all Kroot detachment, and they announced this new Kroot box, the Kroot hunting pack, I was so excited. So I acquired a few more of the Kroot hounds.
A few. How many models is this?
Well, before they released the box, I got some of the old metal Kroot hounds. I got 6 of the old metal Krootox riders. I got maybe 30 of the old Kroot infantry. And then when the box came out, the Kroot hunting pack box, I bought 3 of them. And painted everything in them. So yes, I have a lot of Kroot. My rule was 100% Kroot. I did break my own rule, of course, by having 1 ethereal, just so I can get some extra command points. But we're going to have some fun with it. All
right, and I will be playing Necrons. I'm going to be running the Obeisance Phalanx, and this list that I have christened Bad to the Bone. The reason being, I took a survey on a bunch of Necron forums and asked, what are the Necron units that we are not running, that don't ever get run competitively? And I put them all on a list, including a legend.
A legend. Something legend.
I'm bringing something legend. Wait for it. A dairy. Hope someone noticed that reference.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Someone had to. So, as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Turn on the bell and get notified on all of the content we bring here on the channel. And with that, let's jump over and talk about this Kroot army that you are bringing today.
Let's do it. All right, everyone. This is 134 Kroot models and 1 Tau model. And it is the Kroot hunting pack detachment. And it's a lot. It's a lot of models here. So if you're interested to know more about everything specifically, please jump over and check out the individual list breakdowns. DJ and I do separate videos. I go into a whole lot of detail about the models, about the data sheets, about the detachment rules. Check it out over there. I'm just going to burn through the list here today. So like I said, we got 1 ethereal, or a Kroot ethereal, I guess. We have 3 of the Kroot flesh shapers. We've got 2 of the Kroot lone spears. One of the lone spears does have the Kroot Hawk Flot. That gives him the deep strike deny, the 12-inch deep strike deny. We have 1 Kroot trail shaper, and we have 1 Kroot war shaper with the enhancement root carved weapons. We have 70 Kroot carnivores. I've got 3 20-mans and 1 10-man. We have 2 of the Kroot farstalkers, the kin bands. These are the kill team units. So they have 10 guys and 2 Kroot hounds in each of those. Then we've got 3 5-mans of the Kroot hounds. We have 3 3-mans of the Krootox riders, the ones with the guns. And then we have 1 3-man and 1 6-man of the Krootox rampagers. That is all my lovely Kroot. DJ, what are you bringing today?
Well, here it is. And don't adjust your screen. That is, in fact, a gauss pylon in the center. This devastating bad boy will probably do absolutely nothing this game, and I'm hoping I can even try and buy back its points because its laser is absolutely terrible, as to be expected with most legendary things, things that went to legends, because, you know, that's how it goes. Anyways, this is Obeisance Phalanx, and in here we have 2 20-man squads of warriors, 1 10-man squad of Lich Guard with spears, a Catacomb Command Barge, an Annihilation Barge, 2 5-man squads of Triarch Praetorians, 3 individual Convergence of Dominions. The Necron warriors are all going to be led by an Overlord, a Plasmancer, and have 2 Crypt Thralls. And last but surely not least, we will have a Overlord with Translocation Shroud. That is my bad to the bone list.
Bad in a bad way, not bad in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. And the biggest thing is, now I know some people are going to, if you want more description, as Lane said, we do our private army videos where we talk about this. And I go over in detail on why these units aren't being played. I am hoping out of this to maybe see some hope out of some of these things. And I know some people are going to be like, well, wait, I see Necron warriors in some armies, but not the way I'm running them today. I'm running Necron warriors as basically the way that they kind of would be expected to be seen thematically, with overlords, with the characters pushing up the field and fighting. The way we typically see Necron warriors right now is a tool for Hypercrypt to drop down and zone people out because 20 bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's with them. The gauss pylon, I got it, and I want to put it on the table because it is really cool looking. I mean, it's really cool looking.
Oh, it's gorgeous, yeah. We'll keep a little kill pile to see of everything. If it
actually kills, because it does have a 6-inch range thing. So if you do get too close to it, what it does, though, real quick, just to throw that out there, since there are no real rules available, it is 210 points. It gives an aura of a 5-up invuln, which is going to come in super handy.
Well, I have no AP, so it's irrelevant.
And then it also has a 6-inch range, like 6 shotgun that's low AP. It might be Tesla. I don't think it is. I don't think it sustains. And then it's big cannon, which is 1-shot ballistic skill 4. Honestly, its gun is equivalent to what's on a Tyrannofex, but worse. So that should tell you something. Oh, and it's anti-fly. Good to know. Good to know that its weapon is efficient against a specific type of like aircraft that are not even in the game right now. I mean, yeah, you can use it against fly, but other things with fly.
And part of the, I mean, to be clear, we kind of intentionally had you bring less used units because the Kroot are in a tricky place. All Kroot is kind of silly because they don't have much damage output. So there are a ton of different armies that DJ could have brought that would absolutely walled off the Kroot and prevent him from doing anything.
Potentially.
Yeah. I mean, things like your Grey Knights with everything having a 2-up armor save and me having no AP would just be impossible for me to do any work.
An entire turn of your entire army shooting to take out 3 Terminators, and then one comes back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is we don't know as much. You did get a chance to kind of tweak this a little bit and play it and test it out before coming here, and you were surprised with the outcome of it.
Well, a friend of the channel, Zach, and I played a game, and he took Space Marines. He did the Imperial Fist detachment, so giving everything heavy and, you know, everything's +1 to hit. And he took some lesser used units, like he took some Desolation Marines and things, but he did have some decent units. He had Marneus Calgar in there with a Brick of Aggressors. He had some Predators, a lot of shooting stuff that was going to do well, Jump Intercessors. You know, there's none that wasn't all trash. But also some goofy units. We don't see Desolation Marines much because they're so expensive.
Right.
But anyways, and we don't see the Imperial Fist attachment. But it actually worked out pretty well for him because I don't have much of a shooting threat, so a lot of his units could just stand there and shoot and take advantage of that heavy. And
depending on how well the Kroot do today, we might throw it into some more competitive things after we see some more and see what it can do. Yeah. See if it can hold its own. Yeah.
Yeah. Against Zach, I actually won that game by like 4 or 5 points. Again, we talked through building the list to make sure that it was a fun game. So it was really a good competitive test, but I wanted to get some practice in with it. And at some point, I am going to take this to an RTT just to see what happens.
Nice. Well, last little bit of housekeeping before we roll the dice is that this weekend we did travel to Battlegrounds for another RTT. Mm-hmm. I took the AdMech, Lane took his Dev Watch, and 3-0 with the AdMech, finished second because of points, was down 9 points out of first place. Did it with the AdMech. And I ran into Space Wolves. Not to say I'm Space Wolves. I'm still hunting him with the AdMech. But I did play against another full Space Wolf TCAB army. And man, it was a brutal game. Shout out to Josh on that one. Josh Gilbert that I ended up playing against. Great guy, great opponent, and a phenomenal game. One of those games that you're just like, wow, that was really close. Win or lose, we were both happy with it. Needless to say, during the post game, we'll be going over and talking about some of the tournament results, so go ahead and check it out there. And we'll run through our games and some of our matchups and stuff. So a little extra going in there.
Yeah, Deathwatch did all right. I won my first 2 games, lost my 3rd game by 2 points to Roger and his Blood Angels. So a real great game there. So it was a lot of fun. There were so many people at this RTT. It started with 36 people. There were like 5 people that are undefeated. So it was a great time.
Big tournament.
I took 10th out of 36, which is not bad. It's fine.
Yep. So again, catch us in the post games. I will leave timestamps in the post game if that's something you want to hear about. There will be a timestamp down there, so you can just jump right to that part and hear us talk about the game. Right now, let's talk about who's deploying first. Even though it really doesn't matter, because you're just going to put your army on the table and then move it after we decide who's going first.
Yes, 100%
you have
of my army. I'm sorry, 99% of my army moves before. The Ethereal does not have a pregame move. Everything else either has scout or a redeploy.
I want to find, you need to take his points and find out exactly what percentage he is of your army, so we have an
50
accurate
points, so that 100 points would be 100 points would be 0.5%, so it's a 1/4%.
1/4%.
Yeah.
Lane, odd or even?
Even.
That's and it is odd. So, Lane, you can deploy first. Not that it's going to matter because I don't think I can out deploy you. With
It's so many units.
Yeah, right. All right. We'll be back after deployment. All right. We are deployed. Lane, talk to us about what we are doing here today.
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. And our deployment, if you haven't guessed, is Hammer and Anvil. And then our primary mission is Scorched Earth. So this is where you just get 5 points per objective you control, up to 10 points. And then you can burn an objective in no man's land for 5 points, and you can burn your opponent's deployment zone 1 for 5 points. Or, sorry, for 10 points. And then our mission special rule is hidden supplies. This is just where we put an extra objective in the middle of the table.
So extra stuff to burn.
Extra things to burn.
All right. So as far as deployments, for me, I built a castle. I got my Convergence of Dominion sitting here. And as people know now, we don't have to deal with the stupid 9th edition rule of being 3 inches from a piece of terrain. Glad that's gone. So we put the Convergence here and a Convergence there and a Convergence down here. They are 3 separate units. So we're just making a wall. And then you see we got the Warriors hanging out right there. Annihilation Barge back here ready to pop up and start doing some shooting. Big old gauss pylon right in the middle. It does have towering, so it's touching the terrain, so it'll be able to shoot. There's no hiding from the pylon, and it's one single shot. We have the Catacomb Command Barge back here, probably supporting these Warriors, but could sneak over there to help support them if need be. And then we have not Triarch. These used to be the Pariahs, the old school Pariah models. You know, they're being Lich Guard with spears, and they're hanging out back there with their Overlord of the Translocation Shroud to get up the field. Now, I didn't talk about enhancements. I'm going to hit this real quick. This squad right here, -1 to hit in combat. This squad right here, reroll shooting when shooting at a unit on objective marker. But last and surely not least, the most fun one is right here. If this squad eliminates a character at all, they reduce my opponent's command points by 1. So we'll definitely make note if that even happens. Now, untraditionally, actually, I'm going to hand this over to Lane, over so quietly and slightly, so he can talk about all of what he has today.
So many Kroot, guys. Look at my glorious Kroot. Just filling up this deployment zone line, ready to go forward, with nary a care about being shot. We have two squads of the Firestalkers out here because they do forward deploy, they do infiltrate. I've got a Trail Shaper on here, so I will actually redeploy 2 units. I'll redeploy these 2 units, but I do that before we roll to see who goes first. Other than that, I'm not going to go through every unit here. We're just packed into the line. We've got my Kroot Furial holding back here to block out some deep strikes and to give me some command points, I should hope. And it's just Krootox and Kroot Carnivores on the line. Everybody ready to go for. We're going to make sure we take advantage of that 7-inch scout move on the entire army. Yeah, DJ, let's roll off here and see who's going to go first. And
do you want to go first or second, my friend?
Kind of first, just so I can just push up the table. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to push up the table either way. Yeah, I'm not worried about you shooting me.
All right, let's see.
No,
That doesn't answer the question.
Let's do it again. What you do?
Missed. You missed.
I didn't miss. You know.
Hey, listen, I understood the assignment.
That's
looks
you.
like the Necrons will be going first, but wait. This is going to be time we're actually going to view this. Give us a second while Lane does all of his scout moves.
The poor little Kroot Ethereal is the only model in my army that does not have some sort of pregame move. Everybody has a scout move except for the Farstalkers, and they redeployed thanks to the Kroot trail shaper on there. So everybody moved. Basically, I get an extra whole movement phase in this game. And we just pushed everything forward. We're just going for it, guys. We're just going to go for it. All right. DJ is going first, although I did take fixed objectives. I am taking cleanse and engage in all fronts.
With an amazing draw, we start off the game. We're looking at secure no man's land and extend battle lines. I think I draw this like all the time, and I did shuffle. So we advance these warriors up, tag the objective, and we're able to get one of our secure no man's lands. And then over here, warriors, we extended them out to cover and touch both of these objective markers so that we control both of those to be able to finish off secure no man's land and as well extend battle lines. As for shooting, not a whole lot. Catacomb Command Barge shot downwind, and that -1 to hit came in efficiently. We took the Tesla archive or the Tesla on this, and we're only able to hit one of the 4 shots because of the -1 to hit. So no one died over there. We hit, we wounded with the big gauss cannon. Lane rolled a 6 for his invul. And then over here, we actually did some work. We got to see the Annihilation Barge do some stuff. So with its Malevolent Arcing, it was able to do some mortal wounds over here to this unit that was hiding back here. It took 3 of them out. And then did mortal wounds to the initial squad, which was a squad of these, what are they called again? The Riders?
Kroot Riders.
Kroot Riders, that's it, thank you. So we were able to take out 2 of the 3, and we got this one down here just so it has 3 wounds left. So we were able to beat it up real nicely with a combination of these guys. We had the Plasmancer hit and zap for a little bit of damage. The Annihilation Barge did a good amount of damage. And the Convergence was the last piece of the puzzle to finish off with its 3 damage. It hit, it wound, and Lane made the invuln. But a 10 on primary, or I'm sorry, a 10 on secondary. Good start to the game. And we'll pass this over to Lane and the Kroot Marching Horde. Look at that. Look at all those models.
My Kroot Ethereal gave me a command point, so I'm up to 3 on my turn. I took fixed objectives, so we were just trying to engage in all fronts and cleanse. So we pushed forward, just pushed everything forward all the time. And then over here, DJ did Overwatch. This squad is rerolling all hits onto units that are on an objective, so he did get to reroll and was getting lethal. So he killed 7 of the models out of the Farstalker kin band. And now I'm going to do some shooting back to him. So we tagged this unit of warriors with this Lone Spear. So my whole army is rerolling hits into him. Then just did a whole bunch of shooting into this squad. Knocked him down to about 4 warriors, but then DJ used his Resurrection Orb.
Well, first you killed 1 and got 1 model out of there.
So detachment rules is once a unit is below starting strength, the rest of my army gets a +1 to hit. So I didn't kill anything with the Lone Spear, but then these guys shot and did pick up 1 or 2 warriors. And so then the rest of the army shooting into them was getting +1 to hit. Once we got them below half strength, they became +1 to wound as well. So these guys, the Kroot Riders, when they shot in, were wounding on 2s. Unfortunately, I just rolled 6 1s on my text on the wound roll. So I had used the War Shaper's ability to do a strat for free after his unit shot made an additional AP. So these guys were shooting at AP 2. The Kroot Riders, so they should have killed a lot more. Should have wiped the squad. I just rolled 6 1s on my wound roll. So it happens. Dice are dice. At the end of my shooting phase, DJ did use his Resurrection Orb from this guy and he rolled a 6, so he brought a full 6 warriors back. That's kind of frustrating. Over here, we didn't do much shooting because I got to get engaged in all fronts. So I know if I shoot a whole bunch with all of the squads or with the big old brick of the big old brick back here of Kroot carnivores. I know DJ's going to pull these guys and make my charge harder. I need to charge this guy in just so he gets in there and I get engaged all front. So that's why we didn't shoot a whole lot here. So this warrior squad is going to survive. So I'm going to do some charging and we'll see what happens. The Krootox riders thumped. So there's no more Necron warriors. And we picked up the one character. Which was that, DJ?
The Plasma Lancer.
The Plasmancer. And then the Overlord survived. He did slap back and pick up one of my Krootox. And then here, the Kinband Farstalkers managed to survive with the Sergeant. And the character, the Trail Shaper, survived here. So I do get my engage. DJ took this objective back through Resurrection Orb shenanigans. But I did cleanse in 2 objectives. The Doggo cleansed here because they're within 12 of a character. And then the Doggos cleansed over there because they're also within 12 of a character. So we did cleanse and we did engage in all the fronts. So we did get 8 on secondaries this turn. And we'll go over to DJ's turn and to see what he decides to do.
Starting off with a 10 on primaries, we did manage to hold down this center objective with our reanimation shenanigans. And then we opted in the end of the command phase to pop that reanimation from the Catacomb command barge, just so we could get a couple more dudes back in here, because I want to make sure that I need to make sure I clear this objective and have some staying power there. So now we have overwhelming force and secure no man's land. I'm not sorry, secure no man's land. We're just going to secure all game long. Excuse me. Overwhelming force and storm hostile objectives. So here's one of the targets that we're going to try and go after. It's going to be tough. Got to make sure I get them. And then we got 2 dudes in here. This one I'm pretty much guaranteed to take those 2 out. As long as I kill those 2, we're good to go. Now, as for other things, we need to storm a hostile objective. So this one's going to be rough, but we have the boosted OC from the Catacomb command barge, and we got the Lich Guard. So we're going to try and rush in here and see if we can't clear the 20-man and try and do some damage and see if we can't out-OC this area and get some points over there. Then the Warriors are going to have to start crawling in there and try and get up towards the center. And then back here, we did bring in 1 5-man of the Praetorians to hold this objective, since, that's OC 0. And that's going to be it. Annihilation Bard is going to stay there and do some shooting, and we definitely have to do something about these Rampagers. Otherwise, they're going to eat everything of value in this corner, and then probably they may actually pick on the pylon if they get bored. All right, time to do some shooting. He's still alive. Not to mention also the sadder part is Gauss Pylon missed these guys sitting right in front of him. It's because he's shooting up, it's just an angular problem. So Gauss Pylon failed, and with its Tesla, it also failed there too.
Spike some 5-up inbounds.
Well, that one I just missed. But yes, over here, this guy, he put some shots in. He was able to put shots down into these guys over here, these Kroot carnivores, to try to spray extra damage. He did a little bit of damage over here to the dogs off the fallback, but only took out 1 with his actual shooting. Then his Gauss cannon struck home for 2. So he's doing some work. He's doing damage. I think that's about to end here real soon. And then these guys shot, and here we go, spiking the invulns. No damage into there. Again, they're only Rod of the Covenant, so they're only 1 attack apiece. So there's that. And then we move into this side. So the Catacomb command barge was able to pick up 3 of the doggos. 3 dogs dead. All 3 Convergence of Dominions actually hit and wounded, and Lane just threw invulns for days. So that's going to be it for the shooting. Now we're just going to do some fights. We have a little bit of a charge over here, and then we're just going to fight and try and pick up our overwhelming force here. But storming hostile is all going to come down to what these guys can do. All right, let's see what happens. Well, we successfully made the charge, but I was concerned that I was not going to make the charge into the Rampagers as well. Charged, and then Lane decided to heroic, which in the end of it all ended up preventing me, because even with my damage, I left 1 Rampager, and I wasn't able to push through and consolidate to get on the objective. So unfortunately, not able to overwhelming force this turn. We did quite a bit of damage. We lost one and a half Lich Guard, so not too bad on that side of things. But we did pick up 3 of them and 2 of the carnivores, plus some of the dogs and the shooting. So we're making work on it. So I held on to overwhelming force for next turn. As for over here, oh, we just whooped the butt over here. We just whooped butt and took names. I mean, there was only 2 dudes left, so we were able to pick up, and that's 2 unit kills. So at least we got overwhelming force, right? And the Storm Hostile is the other one. And so we're going to get that for at least 5 points. And yeah, pass turn over to Lane and see what the Kroot decide to do to answer back.
My Kroot Ethereal failed to generate a CP for this turn. He tried, though. He made an effort. So, again, I've got fixed objectives, so I'm cleansing and engaging in all the fronts. This little Krootox Rampager fell back, but he is still in this table edge. So, and he passes Battle Shock, so he does count as being there. These little doggos failed their Battle Shock, so they won't be able to do anything. I spent 1 CP for this big old brick here to fall back, shoot, and charge. We're going to try and kill these Lich Guard here. Oh, I forgot. I got to move these Krootox. They're going to move to come and play with these guys here. So I will do that here in a second. And we just scooch those dogs forward to get engaged in all fronts. And then we'll be doing an action with the guys inside the building here to cleanse. These guys will cleanse. They didn't move. I was considering moving things from this building to go in here and cleanse here so that he can shoot. But these guys reroll all hits onto anything that's on an objective marker. So I couldn't really move anything around there. But the Krootox are going to move their 7 inches, come over here, so they can, they can play. So they can have a little fun. All right, so we shot these guys down. So there are only 3 left, but at the end of the phase, DJ did pop the Resurrection Orb. Did that. Yeah, that's about it, really, in shooting. We just shot into these guys with these 2 squads. The
Rampagers, what we were talking about before, they did move up to here.
Yeah, they moved up to there, so they couldn't get overwatched. The Blast Javelin just didn't. He failed to hit. I got 7 shots, but he hits on 4s. I only hit with 1 hit, so I didn't kill anything, but at least tagged him. And I did have to spend a CP for this guy to reroll his shot to tag these guys so that when my Rampagers get in there, they can reroll their hits. If they get in there. I think I need like a 4 or 5 on the dice there. But yeah, let's charge a little bit, see if we can do some damage. We successfully bonked away the warriors here, but the Overlord picked up 2 of these guys because he's strength 12 for...
And flat 3 damage.
For reasons. And then here, we charged in here and failed to kill any of the Lich Guard. And then he slapped back and picked up 10 of my guys. So we still control this objective because we have so many guys on there. And then that's it. So I still cleansed these kiddos. The Krootox Riders cleansed. The guys inside the building there cleansed. And then we engage in all fronts. So our doggos are engaging over there, scoring us points, good doggos. And this single non-battle shocked Krootox Rampager has kept us engaged here. On to DJ's turn.
All right, for those of you who think that things are looking bad for the Necrons, I have one thing to say to you. You're probably right. So we're not in a very good position. We just drew Cleanse and we stayed on Storm Hostile Objective, and cleansing is not the name of the game right now. It's going to be trying to remove some stuff and seeing if we can get some space between us and the Kroot. So we brought our last squad of Praetorians in. They're barely tagging that objective, and these guys are in here. Now, I know I probably should have moved the Annihilation Barge earlier. I really didn't play my home objective very well. I probably need to get that Annihilation Barge. Should have been hanging out on that for the entire game because that would have been easier on me. But at least now the Praetorians are ready, and we can try and counter what's going on over here. That Overlord that was hanging out in here, he moved up, and he's going to try and charge into the dogs and start making his way in there because they're still pretty tough and can do some work. Over here, Overlord's still in combat, but the other Praetorians moved up and are going to try and charge in there and go to war. We got 1 Lich Guard back in the squad on the reanimation, and they're still in combat, and they're going to be able to do some fighting as the Catacomb moved up a little further. And he's going to shoot and then probably charge into something, depending on what we see and what we do. All right, let's roll some dice for this shooting phase and hope this gauss pylon could do something. Breaking news. The gauss pylon has killed a model.
Made his first kill.
He did 12 damage to him because I rolled a 6. Yeah, he was definitely dead. So 35 points down for the 210-point purchase. Other news, Convergence of Dominion. Also got a kill because you know the Convergence does 3 damage. And then now into the real stuff.
The command barge killed some dogs.
Yes, the command barge shot down the last 2 of the doggos.
He dies next. Kill him up uppers.
Get those out of the way. And then over here, the Annihilation barge didn't do a lot of work in there. Poured everything in here. I think he picked up like 2 or 3 from this squad, and then did not arc anything. We were trying to arc to finish him off to not waste any shooting. Didn't. Oh, sad. Okay, now we got some charges. So we're going to try and bring the Overlord in here. We're going to bring these Praetorians in on these guys on the objective. There's still +1 to wound on them for my marking. And that Catacomb command barge is going to charge this big, chunky 20-man squad of guys. All right, let's do some charging. Overlord was unsuccessful on his charge. I did have a command point, but instead of using it for a reroll, I used it over here for a tank shock. And boy, howdy, was it a good one. 4 on the tank shock. Then he was able to kill. He picked up 7 models by himself in combat, the Catacomb against these guys. And he did get hit for 2 wounds himself. So he's down to 7, but I'm satisfied with the results out there, especially because the Lich Guard were able to wholeheartedly pick up the other squad. You know, when you drop like 5 or 6 mortal devastating wounds, that'll happen. So they piled into the Rampager. They're -1 to hit, so the Rampager didn't do any work into them. So we're in a lot better position over here with just the 1 Carnivore squad and 1 Rampager. So we're starting to make some grounds, but it might be too little too late, being going into the bottom of 3, which is Lane's turn is the bottom of 3. Over here, the Praetorians didn't do too bad. Charged in, they were able to pick up 2 of the Rampagers, and then they lost 1 in the smackback. And when Lane picked them up, he picked up the 2 that were in combat with the Overlord, so the Overlord just stand there and went, hey, where'd they go? So that's going to be it. We are going to get Storm Hostile objectives, and we pitch Cleanse for a command point. I'm going to hand it over to Lane and the Kroot.
The Kroot Ethereal didn't generate any more CP for me on this turn. He did once for this game so far. That's all right. We're only in turn 3. I spent 1 CP for this squad of Kroot Carnivores to fall back, shoot, and charge. Both this Lone Spear and this Lone Spear stayed still because their weapons are heavy, so they'll be hitting a little more consistently. These Krootox Riders moved over here so they can engage on all fronts. This guy failed his battle shock. He did fall back. He did not die in the fallback, but he did battle shock. He's the only thing that failed the battle shock. These Krootox are just going to stay there, do some shooting. The Farstalker squad sent a guy out here to control the objective and to cleanse, and then the doggos fell back over there to cleanse, and that's it. Let's do a little shooting. Let's see if we can kill something. So we did manage to throw some grenades and shoot away. The blast javelin finally did some work, and we picked up the Lich Guard here in shooting, just leaving the incredibly strong Overlord here. And of course, we still got the command barge we've got to deal with here. Did a couple shots into this Overlord, but he's got 2 up armor, so it's really, really hard to get any damage through on. And didn't do anything to this guy here. So that's it for our shooting. Let's see if we can fight a little bit. All right, fighting. We did get the barge down to 2, although he's going to reanimate here. And then here, didn't do any damage to the Overlord. This guy survived, so I guess I still get engaged there. And that's about it. So I still scored 4 for engage and 4 for cleanse.
Maybe a time that I actually might be spending a command point to go with a precision strat with the Triarch Praetorians. We got Assassinate and Behind Enemy Lines. Behind enemy lines is going to be a little too tough, sadly. But Assassinate, we can at least get the points there. So we brought the Praetorians out from the building, the ones we deep struck in, brought them over here. We're going to try and mix it up with the Kroot over here, as well as with with our Overlord buddy. Over into here, the Overlord stayed in combat. He then healed back to full health, and he's going to punch this Krootox in his face. Over here, we brought the Praetorians over. We reanimated the one dead and brought them in. And we're going to charge, probably charge both and just keep working our way back because that one little dude, he's hanging out there and it's just the tip of the iceberg. Because what is that? He's part of a 10-man or a 20-man?
It is a 12-man.
A 12-man, okay. Neither.
It's 10 Kroot and then they 2 Kroot hounds.
Gotcha. Yes, there's still a bunch back in that building. There's still a bunch of Kroot we gotta deal with, and we're running out of turns. Is a big thing. We're really running out of turns to try and make it down to the scoreboard. Over here, we only got 1 wound back on the catacomb, and we decided to stay in combat. There's 2 characters in here, so depending on how much damage we actually can efficiently do to this squad, that might be a way to get the characters out. But we do have, again, the one command point strat to go precision on the Praetorians, which actually might be the way we go. This is the squad that we're going +1 to wound on, so we'll be wounding them on 2s, and we'll see how this all plays out. All right, oh, and the Annihilation Barge, where it probably should have been all game, finally is back on the objective. So, that's probably where he should have been since the start. All right, let's shoot. So we skipped over because not much happened in the shooting phase. We did a little bit of damage over here before charging in, and it was just kind of some softening up things. But there was one important shot. Gauss pylon claimed its 2nd victim with one of the Krootoks over there, which then helped so that when we charged in, we'll go from right to left. We charged in with the Overlord and the Praetorians, spending the command point to go precision, and picked up the character for our assassinate, and then did some damage, beating the squad up pretty good. We only took 1 wound in the slapback, and but even in the shooting, this guy is still around. I cannot kill him. I have hit him, I have wounded him, and 5 up in bones. We did do some damage, and we did no damage actually over here to these guys, but the Praetorians that were over here were able to pick up the last Krootoks, which is, I'm happy with that. Over here, Lane did it. He picked up the Catacomb Command Barge. He really punished this thing with the MP grenades and everything. That thing was just, it was not meant to be. He was in a bad spot, and he went away. The Overlord has been picking on him. He's been picking. He just doesn't have quite enough attacks to clear him fast, but his defense and his strength and everything else is doing work with them, so that is helping out. Over here, the Overlord finished and picked up the objective. So we only got Assassinate out of this turn, but we're getting some board. We're getting board presence. I just feel like it's going to be a little too late because this is now going into Lane's bottom of 4.
He failed again, guys. He's given me 1 CP so far. All right, maybe turn 5 he'll give me the CP again. All right, anyways, spend 1 CP for these guys to fall back, shoot, and charge. The Lone Spear is going to do the action. Is going to cleanse. And then the Krootoks is free to charge in here. These guys can shoot and charge in there. The Doggos came over here. We now control this objective because they're within 12 of a character. They have OC. So they're going to do the cleanse there. We're going to... Well, actually, he doesn't need to cleanse because they're going to cleanse here.
And then you got other
guys are going to cleanse in there. Yeah, we should be all set then. So then, yeah, this Lone Spear can shoot.
And then engage the puppy pass.
Puppy's going to engage. Puppy passes battle shock test. He fell back. He's cool.
He's the goodest boy.
He is the goodest boy. Okay, let's do some shooting. All right, just kind of plowed through the turn. The shooting and the fighting. So we did pick up this Overlord here. Took some grenades to do it. Took everything we had just to kind of make sure he died. 2-up armor is tough to deal with. And then here, the Doggos managed to complete the action, even though a couple of them died, because we still do control the objective. We've got 4 OC on it, and DJ's only got 3 on there, so we did finish that off, even though they got consolidated into and fought. And then some guys died over there, but not enough to make a huge difference. So on to DJ's turn. Now we did score. We still cleansed on 2 and still engaged in all fronts.
There's a point in 40K where you make a very conscientious decision. You can score points and try to, catch up the game, or you can accept defeat and go after what you call a spike kill. And that's what we're doing. We have area denial and recover assets, and I could go after some points, but instead, the game is very far out of reach. So instead, we're just going to kill some Kroots. So we moved into position. The Overlord's in position to recharge. Recharge. Nice. Warriors. Necrons. Robots. These guys fell back because they can fall back and charge, just so I can get that charge fighting first. And then over here, these guys fell back and they're going to charge as well. They jumped over to the other side. They're going to charge into the back. Annihilation Barge is also going to shoot over here and try and pick up some of them. And then the gauss pylon's going to do it, pick up another kill. I think the gauss pylon's just going to shoot right at this dog. I'm going to put that big beam right at this one puppy.
You killing my puppy?
And then, oh yeah, and then the Overlord, he's going to go in there. He's going to go hunting. He's going to finish off that squad of the Kroot, the Rampagers or something like that. And we are actually able to shoot this convergence the first time this game. Add this one little character. So we got some stuff we're going to do. All right. We'll come back after shoot and charge and see what I'm able to take down. Well, if you can't beat them, just beat them. And we did good with that this turn. So the Overlord, first and foremost, the gauss pylon shot and annihilated the little doggo. The
last poor little doggo destroyed by the pylon.
But yeah, we could not do anything to shoot down that one Krootox. The Overlord said, fine, enough with this. Ran in there and poked him with a stick, and he died. Over here, though, we charged in, picked up the last of the Kroot over here, charged into the guys that were in the building with these Praetorians over here, and picked up all of them and got rid of them, just mostly through all the attacks in there. We also made them the +1 to wound target. And then over here, the Overlord just wanted to kill. He charged in there and killed that character, and just standing in combat with Mr. Krootox.
Yeah, Rampager didn't get to swing back yet.
No, Rampager gets to smack me. Okay, so Rampager's going to get to smack me, and they're going to pass it over to Lane to clean up and finish up the turn and give us the final score.
The final turn, my little Kroot Ethereal gave me another command point. So good job, my little guy. That's 2 for the game. Hilariously, I'm ending the game with 2 CP, so I didn't need it, apparently. So all we really did here is the Kroot Hounds passed their battle shock, and they fell back in desperate breakout right through those guys to get me over here to engage. The Lone Spear is on that side of the table, so he's engaging. Ethereal is engaging, and then these guys moved up to engage and cleanse this objective, and that's it. We didn't roll out the fight here, but the Krootox rider would just die, but that's fine. So I would get 4 on engage here and just 2 for cleanse, which means I did pretty well. That means the Kroot hunting pack is going to finish with 88, and we kept the Necrons to a nice 69. So follow us over to the battle, or the post-game battle report. We're going to talk a little bit about how everything played out, especially these groovy little Kroot, and see how DJ liked having 4 big models that didn't move at all. All right, see you over there.